For Educational Critical Review and Reaction is Jordan Maxwell in a piece titled Fed Up.
I don't want to get married. I don't want a home. I don't want new cars. I don't want a home. I don't want anything. Period. And they said, what are you talking about? I said, I don't want anything. I don't know why. I don't understand what I'm saying. All I know is in my heart and in my gut, I don't want to be a part of this world. I don't want anything in it. I'm not interested in marriage and money and new cars. I'm not interested. Period. I don't know what it is I want, but living in this world is not one of them. And I always believed and I always felt that I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I've been brought here. I don't know where I've come from. I have no idea what I'm doing here and I have no idea where I'm going when I leave. But at least I'm honest enough to say I don't know where I've come from. I don't know what I'm doing. I just do what my heart tells me to do. But all my life I have always known I am not here to live a normal life. I didn't come here to spend my whole time watching basketball, working hard, and getting a gold watch and pleasing my masters and pleasing. I don't care about government. I don't care about your religion. I don't care about your banks. I know the insurance companies that own the banks. Banks are backed up by insurance companies, but you don't know that. So if you want to cry and complain about banks, you better look at insurance companies. And if you want to understand insurance companies, you better go back to 1871 and look at the 14th Amendment. And if you want to do that, then you better go back and find out that there is no United States of America. There's a corporation of insurance companies called the United States Corporation. You better find out how this world really works, not how you thought it worked. And when you find out how this system actually works, you know, in the Roman Empire, they had a sewer. They referred to the sewer in the Roman Empire as a system. We still use that term today, the sewer system. But the word system meant a sewer in Rome. So that's why you have a judicial system, you have an educational system, you have a governmental system, a banking system. Yeah, because what they're telling you is that you're still in the dirty sewer of the pagan world. That's all we are, that's all we've ever been. So you can call yourself Christians and go to church and you have no idea in the world what the church really means. You never really looked at that word church. And you have no idea in the world where the word synagogue comes from and what it really means. It's extraordinarily incredible how much people don't know, how much you buy every day and never suspected for a moment what you were saying, what you were buying into. Let me give you an example. You've probably heard it, but there are other people who haven't, so I'll say it again. The white man, what you call the white man, comes from Europe, north, east, west, and southern Europe. Incidentally, that's what we get our word news, N-E-W-S, north, east, west, south. So anything that happens in north, east, west, or south is news. And so the white man comes from Europe and ultimately came out of Europe to America. We get our word America from a star system called Merica, M-E-R-I-C-A, Merica star system. It's one of those obscure constellations that's not in the zodiac, but there are many constellations that are not in the zodiac. But over North America was a constellation called Merica at July 4th, 1776. And the founding fathers were a lot of things, but stupid wasn't one of them. And they knew all the occult significant dates, times, signs, astrological symbols. They were very, very bright men. And what they were planning was a whole new world order. And so America was supposed to be the new Saturnian system. Saturn was going to be the god of the new system. Go back and read the original documents from 1770s, 1780s. You will see them using the term the Saturnian system, the Saturnian government, Saturn. Saturn, well, that's a whole subject we could get into there. Saturn. Saturn was referred to in the ancient world as Lord of the Rings. We're still making movies today about Lord of the Rings, and never realizing for a moment what's really going on here, that America represents a Saturnian brotherhood. Saturn. This is why Jews go to their temple, which is called synagogue, and they go there on Saturn's day, which is from Friday night at 6 o'clock to Saturday evening, 6 o'clock. They go to the synagogue to worship Saturn, Lord of the Rings. The Jews in Hollywood are still making movies about their god, Saturn. Men were told to listen to their god, so they would wear women were told to listen to their god, so they would wear an earring. Men were told to get married before their god, so they wear a wedding ring. Wake up. Saturn, Lord of the Rings. International secret societies, Illuminati masters who run the world. And since Europe was the home of the white man, one of them, even before the Roman Empire existed, there was a white man's establishment in Europe before the Roman Empire. During the Roman Empire and after the Roman Empire, it's still a white man's area of the world. And in that white man's world of Europe, the powers that be, even before the Roman Empire, were called Druids. It was a priesthood called Druids. They were the lawyers, the doctors, the officials in government. They were anything and everything that was important in the white man's world was run by Druids at one time. We still have Druids in England today. Well, you better go back and look at Druidism, because one of the most important symbols in Druidism was a magic wand. Like today, orchestra leaders conducting a great orchestra, you're playing to their tune. He's the boss. Until he waved that magic wand, you don't play anything. So you're playing to his tune. So with that magic wand tells you what you can do and what you can't do. And Jesus, if you go back and go on the web and type in Jesus with a magic wand, and you will see all over Europe, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, in Christian churches are statues and paintings of Jesus everywhere with a magic wand. Go back and look at it. Type it in, Jesus, magic wand, and look at all of the paintings and sculptures in Christianity of Jesus healing people with a magic wand. So magic wands were a very powerful symbol in the old European white man's world. Magic wands, according to the dictionary, were made out of the wood of a holly. It's made out of Hollywood. Get it? Once you understand, Hollywood is a white man's symbol for magic in the Druidic world system. That's what we call magic. We call it magic because it goes back to the word magi. All I'm telling you is that the entire world you live in is a magical, de jure, real and legitimate system of manipulation of the human mind, the human world, the human existence on the earth is a magical system. We are all computers. Our brains are a computer. We're a biological electrical system. And anytime you got a computer, you can have Wi-Fi. You don't have to have a connection to a computer. You can get it out of the air like you do radio and television. Well, that's how we are being run. People go into fits. They go into some kind of a spasmodic fit like Muhammad was said to have done. He'd fall on the floor and kick around and spit and slobber all over himself. That's what the history book said. And then when he comes out of it, he would say, God talked to me. They said, well, you've been gone for a while, airhead, on the floor spitting and jumping around. And now what does God say to you? Well, he told me that I got to start a religion and it's going to be called Islam. Now, most people don't know that. People don't know that when you read in the Bible about how prophets saw things and they were given visions by God, something's going on here. But what does it really mean? When you are sent into a fit and you're laying on the floor and you're spitting up and white foam's coming out of your mouth, and you are in some kind of a obvious spell is being put on you. And now, how do you develop a word? You spell it. The whole idea of communication is putting the human race under a spell. That's how you use words. You put an S in front of the word word, it becomes a sword. Human race has communications with the dark side. We are being communicated with outside forces, and we're being led down the primrose path to a dark and evil demonic depravity that's coming on the earth. And we are so stupid, ill-informed, unread, and backwards, and pompous and arrogant that we don't want to admit the real truth. We're not in power. We're not in control. There's something out there that's very dark. The Christians call the devil, demon. Jews talk about it. Even the Islamic people, they know about jinns and all the genies and all the demonic depravity. Steven Spielberg talked about the poltergeists and the aliens, close encounters, E.T. What are you talking about, E.T.? Extraterrestrial. Something's going on here on this earth, and the human race is in the clutches of and being led by other world forces, other world demonic depravity. And we as a human race collectively cannot protect ourselves from ourselves, much less from any invading forces from other worlds. I mean, ask a child, 6 years old, where does God live? And they'll point up into heaven. That's true. God's up in heaven. Yeah. Well, that means God is not terrestrial. He's extraterrestrial. He doesn't live here. Do you believe in angels? Yes. As Jews and Christians and Islam, do you believe in other world things that we call angels or ghosts? Yes. In your religion? Yes. Well, where do ghosts and angels and spirits come from? Well, they're in heaven. That's out there. Well, I got to tell you, if they're out there, they're extraterrestrial. So your God and your angels and your whole spiritual substructure of your religions of the world are all based on extraterrestrial, not of this world.
When we had David Icke on, we got into talking about the evil that permeates this planet, and it is off-planet, unseen forces. And we spoke about the archons.
Yeah. I think that is a very important subject. And the man I like to listen to when he talked about archons, the man I like to listen to is the guy who really has this stuff down. I learned from him. His name is Jay Widener. You need to talk to Jay Widener and have him on the show. If that doesn't set you back a year's growth, nothing will. Jay is an extraordinarily brilliant guy when it comes to what is the alchemy, the archons, the occult significance of words and terms. I learned a lot from him. I have Jay Widener on talking about archons. Yeah, Jay is top of the line. He's not only a long-time dear friend, but he's a brilliant guy, and I've learned a lot from him. Oh, and he's especially good when it comes to Hollywood and the symbols in Hollywood movies and what all that stuff about. As an older man, I'm angry at the world that I now see. I have grown up in watching it, and I could do nothing about it. I could do nothing about what I saw happening to my country, to my people. I could not do anything about it as a kid, 10 years old. I just, in my gut, knew I don't want anything. I don't know why I don't want anything. I don't want to be a part of the world I live in. I just don't fit. I want to know what's really going on here and who I really am and where I've actually come from and where are we going as a human race. Because even as a kid, I knew something's up here